Well, for all along, we've been hearing these Mbappe links to Arsenal, and for the very first time, Mikel Arteta found himself in a situation of addressing these rumors down in America. And guys, it was a coincidence that by the time that question went in, PSG had just dropped or excluded Kylian Mbappe from the team of players that are going to play in Japan for the preseason, and Arteta came out and obviously said something huge about Kylian Mbappe. Welcome to Rokani Media Football. How are you guys and where you watching us from? I go by the names of Rokani David. Smash the like button, comment and share. If you're watching us for the very first time, endeavor to subscribe to this channel so as not to miss out on stories that we do upload in here on a day. This is the Arsenal News Show. Hope you guys are really having a fantastic evening, a fantastic morning or afternoon depending when you're watching us from. And don't forget to subscribe to this channel because we are left with limited subscribers to hit 16,000 subscribers. And guys, before the end of today, before we get into that match of United versus Arsenal down in New York, that is MetLife Stadium, let's be into the 16K farm. That is it. And also, let's see close to 500 likes smashed onto this video. He has also gone ahead and stressed a lot about the injury issues of Trossard, and I think we are going to see whether it's really some huge news or not. And lastly, he has gone ahead to hint about William Saliba's return and how he looks ever since he put pen to paper on the contract, and he has gone ahead to play some good games for Arsenal. Now, let's start it off with the Kylian Mbappe story. Kylian Mbappe, Mikel Arteta was asked on whether Kylian Mbappe is a realistic target for Arsenal. He said, "You know that I never talk of players that don't play for our club. Sorry." Now, this has gone ahead to leave a lot of excitement into the fans of Arsenal. Do you know why? Even when he was asked about Declan Rice, he said, "I cannot talk about players who are not players of my team." That's what he has always said. That is what Mikel Arteta has always said. But in most of the players we're going to have to be asked about, they've ended up signing up for Arsenal. But for Kylian Mbappe, he's a player that every manager would love to see at the club. That is it. I've always told you, like him or hate him, Kylian Mbappe is the best player in the world right now. And Arsenal are one of those teams that can really do out some work and craft out something to obviously land into the signing of Kylian Mbappe. And if at all there is a chance of Arsenal to sign Kylian Mbappe, trust me, Arsenal would go in for Kylian Mbappe. You know, when I'm always talking about this issue of Kylian Mbappe to Arsenal, I find it really sensitive because I go ahead and obviously touch the wounds, you know. I unopened the wounds of last season. I know very many Arsenal fans are really still in what we call fear, according to what will happen to them in the final bend of the season, where they lost out games they would have wanted to win, leading 2-0 against Liverpool, and Arsenal found themselves in a situation of really drawing that game, leading 2-0 against West Ham, draw that game, 3-3 with Southampton at home, lose to Man City, right? So those 4 games will always keep lingering onto the minds of Arsenal. But I'm not afraid to do that because that's what exactly brings out the best example of what I want to tell you. What do I want to tell you? If you had a Kylian Mbappe into the team of Arsenal, you would have gone ahead to win the league. That is it. This is a man who creates something from nothing. You know, when I look at Kylian Mbappe, he's a Thierry Henry in a generation where there are no people competing with him. For Thierry Henry, what limited his winning of the Ballon d'Ors was that he was playing in a generation where he had lots of people to compete with. Ronaldinho was in that era, Zinedine Zidane was in that era, Ronaldo da Lima was in that era, Kaka was in that era. Who else? You know? There are very many huge players that came in through, and we are into that era that lifted Ballon d'Ors, and you wouldn't even rule them out. Francesco Totti, very, very limited players were in there for you. But nowadays, even if you are talented, the system of the team limits your talent to obviously broaden. And he was at Arsenal, and Arsenal never won the Champions League. Trust me, in 2006, if at all Arsenal won that Champions League final against Barcelona, Thierry Henry would have gone ahead to win the Ballon d'Or. Trust me, he reached an extent when everything he touched turned into gold. And when I look at Kylian Mbappe, he's one of those players that plays exactly like Thierry Henry. Though Thierry Henry was a little bit taller and stronger, but Kylian Mbappe is that kind of player. And as Roy Pala said, that Thierry Henry is in the position to convince Kylian Mbappe to join Arsenal. And I think if Arsenal can raise the money, and if at all the board can really gang up and obviously say, we are going in for Kylian Mbappe, something can really happen. Something can really happen between Arsenal and Kylian Mbappe. And Mikel Arteta has not gone ahead to give this story a no. He has said he doesn't talk about players that are known for Arsenal. A statement that he has always said when he was asked about Carlo Modric. They made a bid, but Chelsea outmatched them. Leandro Trossard is another one that he said the same statement about, and they ended up signing him. Declan Rice, Kai Havertz, Julian Timber, and very many others. You know, the Gabriel Jesus of this world. Same question plotted. Zinchenko, it was in America. They asked him about the same question that Arsenal is linked to Zinchenko, and he gave the same answer. So to me, I believe Arteta would love to be having a Kylian Mbappe on his team, but the problem has always been simple. Can they match the asking price of PSG? Because PSG won close to between 200 million euros and 250 million euros. That's the amount of money they really want. But it's really going to keep in the news. Kylian Mbappe to Arsenal, not until Kylian Mbappe's transfer from PSG is done. And at this juncture, when PSG have gone ahead to fall out with Kylian Mbappe, and they've gone ahead to let him know that you are not needed at this club. No one is bigger than this club. And whoever they've gone ahead to leave for their trip to Japan is not part of the PSG plans. Meaning that Kylian Mbappe has come out and obviously made a clear statement to the board that if you don't sell me, I'm going for free next summer, and they're really trying to execute a deal. They also went ahead to offer him a deal of £2 million per week. Mbappe said no. Sometimes it's not all about money. It's obviously epitomizing the world of football, because the throne of Ronaldo and Messi is there to be crowned, and looks like Kylian Mbappe is having other qualities to become the heir to that throne. So let's wait and see whether he becomes the crown prince. So he's the crown prince, but is he going to be crowned? And he knows that what's going to make him crowned as the heir to the throne of Messi and Ronaldo is by leaving PSG, join either Arsenal, join Man United, join Real Madrid, join Barcelona, teams that are going to see him win the Champions League. And if I told you add Mbappe to Real Madrid, add him to an Arsenal, add him to a United, trust me, those teams are really going to be so much competitive in the Champions League. Whichever team takes Kylian Mbappe this summer, it's going to register itself or increase its chances of winning the Champions League, because that's what Mbappe gives you. You know, Mbappe is not an unusual player. You know, he's a player who is going to create magic. Remember the World Cup finale. If a player can score a hat-trick in a final of a World Cup, a game of that magnitude that had slipped out of the hands of France by 2-0 at halftime, and then comes in, levels the game, Messi gets the lead, he levels it again to 3-3, it shows you exactly the quality that he takes to where he is going. So let's leave that at that. I know very many Kylian Mbappe stories are going to be really thrown to the media, and I think we are going to get it. We are going to get this done as soon as possible. Now, there is there is Leandro Trossard. We brought you a story yesterday, and most of you have been worried about him playing tonight against Manchester United. And Mikel Arteta was asked about Leandro Trossard, and this was his comment. He's fine. He trained this morning, and he'll be available. Sorry about that. And he'll be available for tomorrow or tonight. That's what Mikel Arteta had to say about Leandro Trossard. Now, for me, I love Trossard. And he's a player that Mikel Arteta is trying to shift from the left wing to the central midfield, because he knows that on the left wing he's clogged with very many players. Emily Smith-Rowe, Martinelli, Reece Nelson, and I recently saw him trying to play there Eddie Nketiah. So, with a lot of space in the midfield, he has gone ahead to drop Trossard in the midfield, and looks like he's going to be playing with two central attacking midfielders this time round, and I think that's the plan. So, Trossard, if at all he has gone ahead to train in the morning, that was yesterday, that makes him available for the match of Manchester United, and is going to be in the starting 11 as he takes on Manchester United. But it's really good news that he's really back to full fitness, because he wouldn't like to have a player like him obviously not be available. You know, quality players like Leandro Trossard are really important to have. He can pull out a moment of magic in such a moment, in such a game. And those that really don't take these games serious don't know exactly what it means. Do you know what jump-started Arsenal's season last summer? It was their 4-1. It was their 4-1 win against a fully packed Chelsea. That is it. So even right now, Arsenal versus Manchester United is really a very huge game. If Arsenal can get a win over Manchester United, of which for me I really predicted a draw, that is going to be a high-scoring draw over 3-3, it will obviously jumpstart their hopes that we can take this to Man City. And every game Arsenal is playing in America, they are taking it serious. They are taking it serious. That is it. They are taking it serious. And trust me, Arteta is going to field his best team. That is it. Ramsdale, Ben White, right back, Zinchenko, left back, Saliba, right-sided centre back, Gabriel Magalhaes, left-sided centre back, Declan Rice, Thomas Partey, Martin Odegaard. That is going to be his midfield three, and Leandro Trossard, Gabriel Jesus, and Bukayo Saka. That is it. I anticipate that that's going to be his starting 11, and he's going to tell them we are here to win this game. As Balogun told you that even if it's a friendly, he calls for the best out of the players, and that is Mikel Arteta, and we are continuing to see that here. So let's wait and see how that pans out here onto the Rokani Media Football. We are going to be live. Will we be live? I think we're going to be live on the United Matters channel, but later I will bring you the match reaction of how Mikel Arteta has decided to name his starting 11 of Arsenal. That is it. So after that, we can as well talk about things concerning William Saliba. You know, guys, Saliba's gonna hate to make what we call a huge turnaround in his career. He's that kind of player that you'll obviously want to have in your team. There is no team in the world that doesn't need Saliba. That's why even a team I support, Man United, were up in for him. They are queuing for the player, you know, because they know he's a generational defender. That is William Saliba. Him being out for a very long time and missing out for the last 10 games of the season of Arsenal has been one of those big blows that really contributed to Arsenal losing the trophy to Man City. Now, Arteta was asked about William Saliba, and these were his words. He's doing really well. Obviously, he's a huge player for us. We know what he brings to the team. he looks good fitness-wise. I think he's in good moment. He's happy. Obviously, he extended his contract and all seems to be okay. So, this is the biggest signing of Arsenal this summer. I know people are talking about Rice, they're talking about Julian Timber, they're talking about Kai Havertz, but keeping William Saliba at Arsenal was the biggest signing of Arsenal this summer. Why? If Arsenal was to go in the market and look for a player of the quality of William Saliba, right, it would cost them 100 million euros. Look at Vadio, who is in the same ilk with William Saliba, and the amount of money Man City is being requested to pay, to an extent that the deal is still not yet done till now. So, William Saliba will cost Arsenal, a player like William Saliba will cost 100 million euros, meaning that Arsenal signing William Saliba have gone to see to it that they've gone ahead to save 100 million euros plus. And he's a player that is reliable and helps Arsenal build from the back. Modern centre-back, Arsenal have gone ahead to keep him. Because you lose William Saliba, you scratch a lot of your head. Even if you bring in Julian Timber, he's good. But is he going to hit the ground running like Saliba did? So, I thank Arsenal for that. They're acting like a big team. A big team does not allow its big players to go. That's why they've gone ahead to hand contracts over to Bukayo Saka, Martinelli, Aaron Ramsdale, Gabriel Magalhaes, and William Saliba. So Arteta is really very much excited about William Saliba, and he's really ready to see it that this man goes ahead to continue doing the best that he deserves at the club of Arsenal. So guys, your thoughts on Arteta defining Mbappe's transfer are welcome in the comment section below. What do you make about Leandro Trossard injury boost ahead of the United game? He's a variable. And what are your thoughts about Arteta's compliments onto William Saliba? I cover you all in the precious blood of Jesus Christ. May the living true God bless you abundantly. Rokani David remains my name, and all my Muslim viewers and subscribers. Ramadan, no, it's Barakallahu Fikum, guys. Ciao, ciao.